Good evening, my fellow Bahamians, and thank you for joining me on this special impromptu live that we've decided to have on a Thursday. It's not our normal live broadcast, but of course, we thought it was important to have this. I received so many calls today of persons, Bahamians from all parties, who wanted to know what this means that a minister of finance made a certain admission and a certain announcement while he was doing a press conference. They want to know what the ramifications is, and they want to understand what in the world is going on. And so we decided to take this time to break this down for you so you understand what is going on. And we've been doing deeper dives. There are several persons in media and otherwise who are investigating what's going on with this whole thing. So it's not just me. There's other person. The Tribune is also doing their investigations, um, and there's other law enforcement agencies who are doing their investigations, but not locally, not in the Bahamas, which is concerning. But we have been investigating, and our investigations have now taken us to the Turks and Caicos. And so we're going to show you some samplings of that, and we'll continue that on Sunday so you can know exactly what's going on and what this means for our country. Our country is in serious trouble. Please take the time to share this using your at highlights, at followers, and tag persons in here because I'm not able to share this because WhatsApp has its limits now that you can't send out, you can only send out a certain amount of broadcasts. So we want to make sure that everyone knows that we are live. And so we need to get this message out there. And someone please tag Michael Halkitis. Someone please tag Kingsley Smith. And someone else please tag Miss Jobette Colby Davis. Please tag them so that they can know exactly what is going on and what is happening here. We don't want them to miss out on this wonderful information that we are going to share with the Bahamian people. All right, so tag your friends and family, make sure they are here. We're saying that a lot of you are on here, and so we appreciate that. Our last live, more than 250,000 persons watched our last live. It was closer to 300,000. We heard political trolls putting figures out there like 6,500. They're looking at the live numbers that they see up there. That's not the final numbers. But 250,000 persons watched our last live where we identified who we believe is politician number one. And even after that, after we identified them and showed them how we got the evidence of that, there were political players pretending that I didn't say that. They put their head in the sand from both sides. We saw uh, Shannon Cartwright go outside having a protest and asking who is politician number one. He must have not been one of those almost 300,000 Bahamians who watched our last live. Um, and also, there were other persons still asking who is politician number one. We have already done the investigation as to politician number one and who that is. Not only have we done the investigation, we found the person who took politician number one to the House of Assembly, the person all the way in Bimini. We found that person and we spoke to that person, interviewed that person, and got that person to confess that he was not only the person who took the sorry, I said it wrong. Not only the person who took the confidential informant to the House of Assembly, but he was the person who made all of the arrangements for them to meet with Kingsley Smith, who was his member of parliament at the time. And they were making arrangements about the Ginn property, including Old Bahama Bay, so that they could purchase that. And I guess this was going to be used because there's an airstrip there. There's an actual long runway there. I think it's the longest one on any of the family islands. Long runway there that could be, and an airport, an actual airport, a building, nice building, that could be used to ship whatever they wanted to. We recently found out that if you was watching the news, some persons were shipping seafood out of there on a plane. They were shipping lobster, and the plane had some incident, and that's how they got caught shipping seafood out of that airport. Most people don't even know that airport exists, and so they don't know the reason that part of the conversation was important in the House of Assembly. It was about meeting with the minister so that we could lock down the Ginn property in Old Bahama Bay so that it could be used as a drug shipment point moving forward, I believe. And of course, uh, of course, it went from in a conversation about the Ginn property into shipping drugs, and so both of those items were part of the conversation, both the drug part and the investment part is what I was told. All right, and so that's what happened. And the conversation I was told by this person was in the House of Assembly. All right, about obtaining the Ginn property in Old Bahama Bay, and that's where the conversation started. And then the conversation moved on to drugs and shipping of drugs, et cetera, et cetera. All right. Now, I can't say if Kingsley was a part of the drug part of the conversation or any of that, but I can say that he did speak to the confidential informant in the House of Assembly, um, and uh, and they were taken there by the person that we named Devon Rivy Rule. All right, and it was Devon Rivy Rule who confessed all of this to me. I'm calling names for a purpose. All right. Um, And so for persons to still be out there asking who is politician number one is curious to me. It's almost like um, they want to cover something up. If you're still asking that, you should be investigating or calling on on Kingsley Smith to answer. Okay, so this isn't something that just a few persons saw. There's more people saw this than saw press conferences recently. And so what we should be doing is calling on Kingsley Smith to answer or to resign or both. And so that's simple. When he was asked a question, and they were conflating two issues, they were saying that we already knew that Kingsley Smith was the person because the woman called his name. No, the woman called his name for a separate incident. The woman called his name for the airplane, the chartering of the airplane. All right, that he was the one who sent the plane for them, and this plane, which we believe was Eric Gardner's plane, this plane was sent to get these people from Abaco to Freeport, and so that's what his name was called for. Uh, so it wasn't always known that he was politician number one, and that's why they're still asking. But the trolls were sent out there to confuse people. They even said that the documents that we put out there could be found on Google, but none of them could find it for you on Google. Those documents were not traceable on Google at all. And if you're able to, just go Google it right now and let's see if you can find those documents, especially the prison documents, et cetera, that we expose. So um, this is not something that we should brush over or cover up by Bahamian people. I'm not getting any political gain from this. I am going to be politically attacked. I'm going to be victimized because of this. And law enforcement overseas where I am, I'm not in the Bahamas, have already taken note of certain things and they're paying attention to that. And I want you to know that I get nothing from doing this. Nothing. There's no political gain. Election is over. But we have a country to protect for our children and our future generations. We have to have a country that is governed by integrity. I don't care about these people's personal lives. People keep bringing up people's personal lives. I don't care. People keep bringing up my personal life. And listen, what we care about is the governance of this country and what is happening with the reputation of our nation, and that our government seems to be involved in money laundering. And we're going to show you some of this tonight. Okay, so let's not get distracted by persons who are paid to cover this up, because at the end of the day, the Bahamian people are going to suffer for this. Not the politicians who are making the money and getting rich. They could go to any country and live well. but it's our country that's getting the bad reputation. And they're sending these political trolls who are getting lunch money to lie and deceive and distract you and even attack me, the messenger. But we got to get to the bottom of this. So let's get to it. Um, I brought up that thing again with Mrs. Devon, Rivy Rule. Everyone knows him as Rivy Rule because there was a response finally by Fred Mitchell. He is risen from the dead again. Fred Mitchell put out a 1 o'clock in the morning voice note about me again. He was up all night thinking about me, and he put out a voice note about me. Said a bunch of nasty stuff. He wanted to talk dirty, 1 o'clock in the morning, and call my name. And it was a very womanish um, voice note that he put out, and very emotional. There's nothing wrong with being a woman or womanish as long as you're a woman. But Fred Mitchell put out this very distasteful, nasty thing attacking me personally, calling me all manner of names. Um, but he didn't address the issue that I was talking about. And that's what we need to stay focused on, Bahamas, because we're going to lose our country. And when we start getting sanctions, we are going to get the effects of it. When big countries want to get at your leaders, they don't go after your leaders. They go after the people to make the people angry enough to overthrow the leaders. So in the meantime, the people suffer until they rise up to overthrow their wicked leaders. And if you don't, then you're going to continue to suffer because they can't legally, according to international law, go after the leaders. What happened with Maduro was a different situation, all right? Because he was not acknowledged as the head of state, so he did not have diplomatic immunity. He was not, as the elections were not acknowledged, and so that's a different story. But when you have a head of state that's acknowledged and diplomatic immunity, they can't necessarily go and touch them. So they go and make the people angry so that the people would rise up and the people would do something. The international community is expecting the Bahamas and the Bahamian people to rise up. They expect that you see what's going on. And if you accept it, that means you're complicit in it. We can't be complicit. I saw the attacks on my brother, Mario Moxie, the head of the Christian Council. It was wrong. It was the PLP going after them and attacking him. But the reason I responded, sorry, I talked about the response of Fred Mitchell is because all this time, of all the stuff I talked about, Fred Mitchell didn't respond. Millions of people have been watching us over the last few weeks. Fred Mitchell didn't respond, but he always responds when you get too close to one of his people, one of his boys. That's when Fred Mitchell normally responds. So when I said the name Rivi Roll, all of a sudden, Fred Mitchell flinched. Why did he flinch? He flinched because Rivi Roll is his boy. That's one of his people. All right? And this is Rivi Roll and Fred Mitchell. That's Rivi right there in the short pants. And that's Fred Mitchell standing next to him. That's Rivi. Fred Mitchell was spending time there and spending time with Rivi. Rivi is a vice chairman, or at the time was the vice chairman of the PLP branch. All right. So he is tied into the PLP. He campaigns for them. He's a very strong part of them. So having someone like this come to the House of Assembly with confidential informants is very serious. I want you to understand what a confidential informant is, right? But first, let me make sure that you can see clearly who Rivi Rule is. This is Rivi Rule. That's the close up. This is Rivi Rule. All right, that's Fred Mitchell's boy. And you saw him in the picture just now with Fred Mitchell. It's a close up of it. All right, so that's Fred Mitchell's boy. So the minute I touch one of his boys, Fred Mitchell jumped at me. All right. Um, and so there's a reason. Now, a confidential informant is an actual drug dealer. They're not a DEA agent. Excuse me. A confidential informant is a drug dealer who is allowed to do certain things, drugs, etc., uh, as long as he is turning in other drug dealers or causing them to get caught. He is a confidential informer. All right. And so he is out there to make sure, and sometimes they get paid for it. As if you read the indictments, you will see that these persons got paid for that also. And so these are persons in the drug game. And so this conversation was about the gain property, OBB, etc., and getting that together, getting access to that for these purposes. That's what we believe. And so that's what was going on. And all of a sudden, Fred Mitchell has disappeared. Even before last election, he disappeared, wasn't saying nothing about nothing. But when I called one of his boys, of course, Kingsley Smith is one of his boys also. That's who he pushed to be the MP there. But when I talked with one of his boys, they decided they have to come after me. All right. So I just wanted you to pay attention to what I just said carefully. All right. Now that's Review Roll, and that's Fred Mitchell. Now to Michael Halkitis. I want to make this clear to everyone. I heard the press statement of Michael Halkitis today. As a Bahamian, I was terrified sitting down with foreigners watching that, and they're looking at the Bahamas like there's no way this could happen in any other country, and he not be forced to resign immediately. And it's embarrassing to say the least. And so, if only for our country's sake, we have to do something. Now, Michael Alkides tried to make it seem like, and first of all, I want to commend the leader of the opposition and the FNM for asking the question. I want to commend them for doing that. You have to give credit where credit is due. They asked the question of him. We had this document that we have shown with Halkitis being a part of this company. I'm going to show you all of this in a minute. We've had the document, but we didn't release it because we did not know if the document was genuine or not. And when we went to the registry to inquire and get the document ourselves physically, because I like to talk with proof, when we went there, they said that the file is not available. They told us, and another agency that was investigating that went there separately from us, we didn't know that the other ones were there, the file for Top Notch was not available. That's what they told us. That the file for Top Notch was not available. Now, those files are always supposed to be there and be accessible to anyone who wants to see them at any time. But we were told that the files are not available, and that's why in our last live we did not expose that, because I needed to get that information properly. So I heard him say, just go to the registry and look at all the documents, etc. But when we went there, it was not available. Okay. So I don't know if it's because it's out now that they're going to put it back. But when we went there, the files were not available for Top Notch. All right. It's very strange. I just wanted to let you know that that is what our people experienced when we went there. And another agency did the same thing, and they had the same experience. Okay. The file for Top Notch was not available. So I just want to make that clear. Now, what his response was that he was a director. He was doing financials. He's a financial analyst, and he was doing corporate structure. And he was helping them to get set up, etc. This is where the problem comes in. And I assure you, investigations are taking place as we speak, but not by the Bahamians. He made it seem like he was doing consulting or some job for someone, helping them get set up. No, Michael Alkidas, you were the president of this company. And the fact that you didn't say that during that press conference shows the Bahamian people that you were being deceitful and you were making an attempt to deceive them. Why didn't you say, Michael Halkitis, that you were the president of this company and the director of this company? Okay, I have the company documents here. Some of you saw it going around today. All of you haven't, and so I'm going to show it to you right now. Okay, we have over 100,000 people on here again. I'm going to show it to you right now. Just, let me pull this up for you. And so, Michael Alkides, all you had to do is say, "Listen, you were the president." I don't think anyone would have questioned you. All right. Um, but the fact that you clearly made an effort to leave that critical part out, it shows the Bahamian people that you were trying to deceive them. This here is the document. This here is the document, um, and it says uh, certified financial analyst. So that's Michael Alkides was the president and director. Let me pull this up clearly for you. Right here, president and director. He wasn't just a director. He wasn't someone doing some consulting for someone, helping them set up a company. Not uh, only, not only was, not only was he setting this company up, which has some serious legal ramifications that I'm going to show you in a minute. Not only was he setting this company up, he was on top of this company. He also made mention that it wasn't um, it wasn't Eric Gardner who initially approached him, but it was the lawyer for the company, which is Miss Aisha Bo, who is the vice president. All right, she's the vice president. So he said it was Alicia Bo, who approached him initially. That's not the point. It doesn't matter who initially approached you. That's not the question. Persons wanted to know what your relationship is with Mr. Gardiner. That's what they wanted to know. But of course, he evaded that. He evaded that by saying that he was initially approached by the attorney. I guess he means Miss Alicia Bo. All right. I don't know if there's some other attorney that was a part of it. He didn't call the name. I'm assuming here. And so who initially approached you is not relevant. But these are all of the other people: Ms. Alicia Bowe, Mr. Mark Robinson, Mr. Brian Butler, Mr. Michael Cooper, Mr. Arthur Jones, Mr. Roy Daniel Davis, and Mr. Richard Gardiner. That's the brother, he's a former police officer. That's the brother of Eric Gardiner. All right. And so those are the persons who were on there with Mr. Michael Alkitis, who was the president and director. Okay, and so now you see these documents for yourself, and uh, and this is unquestionable. And so when you line this up with the explanation that he gave, it is concerning to right-thinking Bahamians. It is extremely concerning because he clearly was evasive. He clearly was being evasive. He clearly did not give the full truth of what was going down. And this is why we need to make you understand this. Now, what his job was, apparently, was to structure this thing, according to him, to structure the company. And so when you're structuring this kind of corporate arrangement for a known drug dealer, we've shown you where he was involved in drugs from 1989, in the 90s, in the 2000s, and straight up, constantly involved in drugs. How do you not do the due diligence to know that you're not allowed to do that? As a person with his position, As a financial analyst and doing corporate work for them, he has a legal duty that I'm now going to show you from the law. He had a legal duty to do his due diligence. And if he didn't do that, it's a problem. And I'm showing you why he must resign. Because he is telling us that he was setting up the money laundering structure. This is my opinion of what everything that's being said. He was setting up the money laundering structure for this drug dealer to be able to operate, to be able to hide behind companies and be able to qualify to get government contracts. You could hear him try to imply that maybe Eric Gardner isn't really the owner. Or you could hear him implying that, oh, you're assuming who the ownership is. And that's what he was saying to the reporter. And that's because they set up these stuff for drug dealers and mafia persons in a way that they can hide so they can continuously operate. And then they put certain things in certain people's name so that they can operate. And that's what was happening. And so this is not acceptable in our country. This cannot be acceptable. There's no PLP, FNM, COI, no Bahamian who should accept this right here. This is wrong, and Michael Halkitis must resign. Let's go deeper. I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you the law, so that there's no question here. I'm going to show you the law. And so this is in 2018, this law was put in place. So this is before he claims to have gone there in 2019. But this is the Financial Transactions Reporting Act. All right. And according to this act, Michael Halkitis should have done his due diligence, and he should have not been setting up any structure or doing any business with a known reputed drug dealer. This is why when a person is convicted of drug smuggling, etc., the banks close their bank accounts. They shut them down because they cannot take the risk. Even if that person does their time and come out, they cannot take the risk that this person is not still doing it, because they will be liable according to law, locally and internationally. And so this here is the act that, as a certified financial analyst, Michael Halkitis knows like the back of his hand. As someone who was the former minister of finance, when the deal was signed with Eric Gardner, by the way, he was there. So Eric Gardner was no stranger to him. He knew exactly who Eric Gardner was. Eric Gardner was the person who got lesser time because he talked on 90 Knolls. Instead of the 220 months, which is about 18 years, he only did just under 9 years because he talked on 90 Knolls. That's what they had on 90, was Eric Gardner's testimony. Okay? And so I'm going to take you to the law. And this was, people in the Bahamas knew about this. In his position, Halkitis would have known about this. This was a reputable case. 90 Knolls was fighting this thing in the public. He was appealing. When he was extradited, he was to the point of trying to get permission to appeal to the Privy Council. Michael Halkitis knew all of this. He was a part of the system. All right. And so this act, it has the definitions, but the definitions of, I want you to understand this act. I want you to understand this now. The definition we're looking for is going to be in section 3. I'm going to go straight there. I must have passed it. Let's go straight to section 3. Where are we? Okay. Gonna go straight to, I'm trying to do fast, that's why I keep going over it. Section 3. Where are we? Okay, so we're going to section 3. What's that? Okay, that's section 4. The section 3 here. So I want you to see this. Duty of financial institution. So a financial institution is, for the word financial institution is just a name. All right. There are things that qualify as financial institution. That could be a bank, that could be a gaming house, that could be a person. It can be a financial advisor. It could be uh, financial analyst. I'm going to show you what a financial institution is. So when you hear this talk about financial institution, y'all stay with me now. When you hear this talk about financial institution, um, this says, for the purpose of this act, financial institution means. So this is whenever you see the word financial institution, it means all of these things. It means a bank or trust. That's one thing it means. uh, a company carrying on long-term insurance business, all these insurance stuff. It can mean a cooperative credit union, a holder of a gaming license. See that right there? Could be a financial institution. So whenever it says financial institution, it means all these things: a broker dealer, a trustee, an investment, etc. A person whose business or principal part of business consists of borrowing, lending, all this kind of stuff. But then you go to I. Here's exactly what he said he is: someone who is providing a financial and corporate service provider. He said he's a financial analyst and providing corporate services for them, dealing with their corporate structure. Isn't that what he said? And he said he's certified. And so he is a financial and he provides financial and corporate service. So he is considered a financial institution according to this. So I just want you to see that. Now, when you go through this, you will see there are certain duties that a financial institution has. And so I want you to go, they have to conduct risk assessment. I can't read all of this, but I'm showing you where it is. Go to laws.bahamas.gov.bs, look for this act, and then goes through this act, and you'll be able to see it. Customer due diligence, financial institutions, or Michael Halkitis. Wherever it says financial institutions, I'll just say Michael Halkitis. Michael Halkitis to undertake customer due diligence measures. All right. Um, every Michael Halkitis shall undertake customer due diligence measures, etc. And all you'll see it all through this. If it's suspicious persons, if it's persons with a criminal background, all of these things, you're supposed to check that. All right. Um, do due diligence on them. You can look at this as I'm browsing it. Should not establish any business or anything with them if they are too high risk. Due diligence measures. You're supposed to identify the person, identify, verify identity, understand where the money coming from, their business relationship, including ownership structure. You're supposed to know exactly who the owners is. This is the law. That's what he's supposed to do. And he knows this. He's the Minister of Finance. And he was that before. All right. You're supposed to apply customer due diligence measures. And it actually puts penalties here if Michael Alkides doesn't do this. All right. And so, um, and identification and verification. So all of this is here. Um, Reliance on customer due diligence by third party. Even if it's a third party, you still have certain responsibilities in all of this. Correspondence relationship. Identify. You have to identify things for yourself. Um, eh, um, if you can't identify certain things, you can't open anything for them. And if any financial institution, this means any Michael Alkitis, that intentionally opens an account or establishes a business relationship, carries out a transaction, fails to terminate a business relationship, having failed to fulfill the requirements of Section 5, 9, and 11, commits an offense, is liable to summary conviction to a fine exceeding $500,000 imprisonment for a term of 2 years or both. All right. So ongoing due diligence, not only when they're starting, but you have to do ongoing due diligence with them because of what he does, financial services and corporate structure, etc. That's what he says he does. Enhanced customer due diligence. Some people you have to do enhanced due diligence on them. Risk assessment of politically exposed persons. All right. And so record keeping is there. And so um, I'm just browsing to the law for you because the other politicians don't teach you the law. And so I want you to see this. Now, um, There's so much more here, but I can't go through all because I don't want the live to be too long. All right, and so that's what Michael Alkitis was supposed to do. Now, this thing goes deep and far. This goes international. This thing goes to Panama. This goes to Turks and Caicos. I got some stuff here from Turks and Caicos. I'm going to show you a piece of it to show you how deep this goes. All right. Um, but this is serious. I want to break down the financial structure of this whole thing for you. Now, what is important before I do that? What's important for you to note is that when Alkitis was dealing with this company, and we can now see why they don't want to give us our Freedom of Information Act. When Alkitis was dealing with this company was non compliant. And so this is a document that shows this is the Registrar General's Department. Companies not compliant because they list companies that are not compliant with obligations to file beneficial ownership information in compliance with the Register of Beneficial Ownership Act 2018. So Halkitis was saying that he was dealing with the structure of this company, but this company is so this is the companies that were listed. So there are other companies that were there. I'll go to these, and one of the companies listed here, Top Notch Builders Limited and Top Notch Water Sports Limited. But Top Notch Builders Limited is the company in question, and it was non-compliant with the company's obligation to file beneficial ownership information in compliance with the registrar with the act. And so this was how could you say that you were supposed to set up structure, but this company was non-compliant? We need to know what it is you did to get this company compliant. We saw other companies being formed, and so a company that is non-compliant. This is why this is important. A company that is not compliant cannot get a government contract, cannot get the right to build a government building, cannot get the right to build government housing, cannot. All right, if they're not compliant with this, the government can't do business with them if they are not disclosed on a yearly basis. They're supposed to their beneficial ownership, and so that's from the Registrar General Department. All right, and so that's curious, Mr. Halkitis. All right, this is not a political attack at all. This is based on the fact that our country is being embarrassed internationally, and we need to educate our Bahamian people so that they know exactly what is going on. All right. And so I want to show you the kind of structure. Um, yeah, we did some documentation so you could understand the structure of what they set up so that this drug dealer could operate in the Bahamas. Um, now, these transactions are not simple. These are complex. So these aren't things that you can just do a 5 minute live with some animations and then explain to people. They set it up in a complex way, so it'd be difficult for persons other than astute persons who really want to sit down and listen to understand. That's why they hire people like Algidas to do that. And remember, I told you that bad guys always hire good people or people with good reputations like Algidas, so that it cleans them up. And so they use all these structures to confuse you because they know you're going to be sitting down saying, "Oh, get to the point. Oh, we can't listen to this too long. Oh, we just want to know what is what." No, it's not that simple. Okay, and so we have to make sure that you understand this properly. And if you want to understand it properly, this is the place to be. If not, then you can go somewhere else. Okay. So wow, there's a lot of people on here. A lot of people. I think for the first time, more people are on YouTube than on Facebook actually. All right. So, all right, perfect. So let's go. I want you to see this corporate, this demonic corporate structure that is set up. All right. That's what I'm going to show you now, and then I'm going to show you Turks and Caicos. Make sure Joette Cole be watching. I'll go get her. All right. So we just did some graphics to help you to understand what's going on. We set up a summary so you can understand how these companies work and the corporate structure to show you it goes from one company to the next company, the next company, the next company. And we showed all these different structures. We showed timelines so you can see, um, despite what some things were saying, even though some things were in Samson Hill's name, we see affidavit from, and I've shown you all this stuff, uh, where Touchdown Builders was described being beneficially owned by these people, but we see um, Jonathan Gardner or Eric Gardner um, in an affidavit saying that he is the president and director. All right. And we see that certain things were hidden and they use this complicated structure. There's overlapping directors and all this kind of stuff to make sure it is clear that he is trying to hide who he is, his relationship, etc. in all of this. Um, in all of this. And I'm going to, okay, in plain English, this is the best way. We put it here so you can understand it very easily. The simplest way to explain is this: Paradise Productions sits above Top Notch. In the 2017 affidavit, Top Notch then sits above PPP. All right. Remember, that's the other company that was building the government building in the West End. But it sits above PPP and complete construction. That's the company that is building the Renaissance at Michael Village because it is described as owning or beneficially owning those companies. Complete construction appears to be a later vehicle connected to the Michael Village project with Top Notch holding nearly all of its shares. Okay, so complete construction is the one that is doing the Carmichael Village. All right, and there's a loan for that, and then a $10 million loan. Then was another $20 million loan from Jamaica that was very scandalous because of how it was. All right, um, and so that's that's how we set this up so you could easily understand it. So what they did was they have companies that's owned by companies that owned by companies, certain people in charge. They had Gardner on there, um, and so clearly there's a connection with Gardner. All right. I'm sorry, I can't go into details into all of this. All right, but that's how this whole thing works. All right. And so they use these smart people like Halkitis to hide what they're doing, right? So that's the company structure in a nutshell. And so it's clear that the purpose of this, to me, it's clear that this is money laundering, all right? There's nothing else that you can say to explain why they are doing the things that they are doing in relation to this company, all right? Um, and why would a reputable financial analyst be doing business with an internationally known drug dealer? And why would you, as the minister, be involved with this? And how could you continue to be minister if you are involved with something like this? Right? That's the major questions that we have to ask ourselves. You know, um, because we have a country to defend. We're not here to defend politicians. We're here to defend our nation. All right. And so that's the big deal here. And so as we started to see what was going on in the Bahamas and all of this structure going on, there's Joe Kobe Davis was the minister of housing, and we see that houses are being built by Eric Gardiner. Um, and so we have questions about that. And then we see that we know that Joe Bet Kobe Davis is from Turks and Caicos. Both of her parents are from there, and we don't know if she's still a belonger. That's a title for a resident or citizen of Turks and Caicos. But Eric Gardner has companies there, and I can tell you that that's being looked into to see who is connected to those companies over there. Now, I was asked because things are being looked into to not delve into the documents or deep into the documents. Can show you, let me do this differently so you could see it better. What I can show you is that, let me see, make sure. Okay. What I can show you, let me pull this up for you, is that Top Notch is not just doing things in the Bahamas. Top Notch is actually building, Top Notch is actually building a shopping center, nice large shopping center in the Turks and Caicos. And so the question is, who is Eric Gardner's partners in this shopping center? Now, Ms. Colby Davis, since you are from Turks and Caicos, we would love you to answer that question before we have to answer it. And this is from the registry in Turks and Caicos, Top Notch. As you can see here, um, they have several companies: Top Notch Builders, TCI Limited; Top Notch Charters, TCI Limited; Top Notch Real Estate, Top Notch Villa Limited. Just a couple months ago, they were over there in the Turks and Caicos, and they rented out like 20 villas, and they had a ball over there. Um, and they are building this shopping plaza. I'm not going to show it to you yet. He was asked to stand down. Um, but all I can say is uh, this thing goes far and wide. Ladies and gentlemen, we can't let our country go out like this. This is too much. Not even 20 days yet. This is too much. This is too much. According to the Westminster system, Michael Halkitis must step down. Must step down. We have to do whatever it takes to clean up the image of our country. We have to, even if that means taking to the streets. Kingsley Smith needs to answer, not saying not now, buddy. He needs to answer if he was a person in the House of Assembly speaking with the confidential informants. He needs to answer that. This can't be brushed off because the international community is not brushing this off. Kingsley Smith needs to be forced to answer. At every press conference that y'all have, you need to ask the tough questions. I was glad that there was a courageous reporter who brought this up, but they didn't ask deep enough questions. I was hoping that they went further. They let him get away with certain things. They saw the document that was spreading around. They let him just say that he was a director or he was offering some services. No, you were the president. And there's no way you could be the president of this company and not have an actual relationship with Eric Gardner. That should have been asked. And so moving forward, anytime you'll have a press conference, I don't care if it's who it's with in the government, you need to ask them, hold their foot to the fire. This is our country at stake. We have to do something. And so, um, we have to fix this. I'm calling on all right-thinking Bahamians to stand with me on this. Let's put our personal issues aside In fact, I personally called Dwayne Sands today and told him that as opposition parties, we have to do something. This can't be allowed in our house. We have to stand up. I'm calling for that man to be removed or resign, or we have to hit Rawson Square. We have to full Rawson Square and demand that he steps down. Our country must have its credibility. We have to demand it. The question is, as Bahamians, do you want to just sit down and let your credibility go to the dogs like it did in the 80s? Or are you going to stand up for what is right? The man stood up and admitted that he worked with this drug dealer, helped him set up his corporate structure, helped him to money launder. The government is money laundering with the drug dealers, and the Minister of Finance is the one who helped set up the corporate structure. Do you all understand what is happening? This is not about personal preference or party preference. The Minister of Finance set up a corporate structure for a drug dealer who was just arrested in America. He admitted to that. Set up his whole money laundering scheme and structure. And we're going to sit down and allow him to sit in our honorable house when it has already been admitted that our government money is being used to launder drug money. We are paying rent to the tune of over $5 million a year. America knows this. We are the ones who are going to be punished, not these politicians, you know. America didn't like Castro. You see who got punished? Not Castro. He ain't suffer. The people suffered. America didn't like Hugo Chavez. I'm not saying that we should bow to any force, but I'm saying if we have a situation where we know that something is wrong, we can't stand with wrong and say stand with your country. No, we're not standing with wrong and saying that's standing with your country. It's wrong. These fellas getting rich off of this. We get nothing. We getting taxes and sufferation. I'm not standing with that. That's not my country. That's crooked politicians. I'm not standing with that. And whoever want to come care them, come care them. That's not my country. My country does not money launder for drug dealers. My country doesn't do that. My country doesn't set up money laundering or corporate structures for drug dealers. I'm calling on every COI, every FNM, every PLP, every right-thinking Bahamian to stand up. Stand up. Over 100,000 of you watching this right now. Stand up. Kingsley Smith needs to answer or he needs to step down. And when I say step down, I'm not talking about cabinet position. I am talking about as a member of parliament. It's the Westminster system. You must not only avoid corruption, but the appearance of corruption. There's so much to unpack here, but I can't make the information part of this too long. I'm going to open the phone lines and y'all tell me what y'all think. Y'all talk to me. Let's have a conversation tonight because our country is at stake, and I'm telling you the international community is all over this. You can choose to defend your party. Listen, you can attack me all you want. You could say whatever you have to say about me. Listen, that won't help this country. Michael Halkitis must step down. I'll repeat this one more time before I open the phone lines. It is now being said that drugs is being run through the Bahamas into America. It is now being said that our government is being used to launder money, drug money, by giving the drug dealers contracts to build houses, and it's not just Eric Clay Gardner, to build houses and to build government buildings. Seriously. And now the Minister of Finance himself is saying that he was the one who set up this corporate structure. And he did not do his due diligence. He's not a lawyer. A lawyer could defend a criminal. A lawyer could associate whoever you want to associate with. It's a different story. He's a financial institution, according to law, because of the services he offers. And he had a duty to do due diligence and risk management. The number one company to do money laundering with is a construction company. The minute, as a financial advisor or analyst, you see someone doing a construction company, that's high risk. One, a lot of money involved, big money. And you can justify all of your actions through all kind of other little small transactions. So the minute Halkitis saw that, if I know this, he knows that. The minute Halkitis saw, oh, construction company, he should have checked, okay, let me check this person's background. Oh, this Eric Clay Gardner. Oh, he wasn't just charged with drug dealing, he was charged with money laundering. He was the money laundering brains behind 90's organization. 90 was the connect, the bronze. Eric Gardner was the person who could go to Panama and go here and there and set up stuff. Halkitis had a duty to check that, man. I ain't saying this to attack Halkitis. That ain't my purpose here, man. I care about my country, man. I don't care about but Halkitis' personal situations, personal life. I care about our country, man. I don't understand why people find it hard to understand this. Let's open the phone lines. Let me hear what you all have to say, because maybe I should stand now, but next week I'm calling on Bahamians to hit the streets. We gotta hit Rawson Square. If this man don't step down by tomorrow or this weekend, next week, we need to hit the square. If we gotta take them out of the house politically, we need to hit the square. We sat down and allowed Keith Bell to continue after he did what he did with immigration. That was wrong. After all the exposure that came, but that was wrong. One more thing before I open the phone lines. Listen to me. Again, I appreciate the fact that the leader of opposition asked some good questions when he did his press conference. Good questions, good job. But it's enough for the questions now. It's time for us to take action. The PAC has the powers to do certain things. I saw Marlon Johnson come on somewhere and say that, oh, the PAC only has power to react to an audit that was done. That's not true. The PAC is a committee of the House of Assembly. And the House of Assembly committee can summons anyone. They can form a committee for anything. Just like you see them do in the US. They'll form I'll call it a select committee to bring Facebook on there and sit down and question them. What's going on with Facebook? Why are people being bullied on there? Why is this happening? Why is that happening? They could bring Elon Musk and make him sit down. They could bring anybody before them, and they must come. Someone says that the PAC doesn't have teeth. It doesn't have teeth to to find against you and send you to jail for what they found against, but they have teeth legally. If you don't come, they can send you to jail. They can put sanctions on you. Or if you come and you lie to them, they can send you to jail and they can fine you. That's the power that the leader of the opposition has. And so a select committee, you don't need a commission of inquiry, although we need one now to deal with this. A select committee has the power. And see, this is one of the reasons they don't want me in that House of Assembly. This is one of the reasons they don't, because they know I know what to do. I wish I was there to help the opposition understand what should happen in this case. The opposition can also file an injunction. But why? Because a drug dealer has been found to have a government contract. And so we need to file an injunction to end that, to find out how he got this contract. That building should have been seized, not rented. Marlon Johnson made a statement that Marlon Johnson is the former financial secretary. He's a FNM, and he's going to defend the FNM. I'm not here to attack the FNM in any way. I'm just educating the Bahamian people, so don't take offense to what I'm saying. Marlon Johnson also said that they were forced to the FNM was forced when they won in 17 was forced to go through with the contract with Eric Player Gardner because there was no exit clause in it. They didn't put an exit clause. Listen, if you find that a contract was signed with someone who it shouldn't be signed with, you don't have to go forward with that. In fact, what should have happened is he should have been arrested for money laundering because remember this, the crime he committed in America started in the Bahamas. He shipped drugs from the Bahamas to America. They could have still locked him up. Haven't you seen persons arrested in the Bahamas and then they do their time and then they go to America and be charged, or then do their time, go to Canada to be charged next? Don't you see, I think is Peter Nygaard was charged in Canada, and when he finished, he got to go to America, or he got to go back to Canada. So when he come back, he could have been charged here too, and he could be charged with money laundering here, which he was never charged with, and there's no statute bar. So the FNM could have said the PLP just signed a building contract with a drug dealer. No, 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 no. We're stopping that. We don't care what this contract says. They've had stop review and canceled for simpler things. There were 7 documents that the PLP signed right before election, but the only one that went through was Gardner. Why? This is making our government look bad. I'm not saying that to attack the previous FNM. I'm educating the Bahamian people. They did not have to go through with this. But at this point, what the government needs to do, listen, seize that building. That goes to the crown. Put that in our sovereign wealth fund. You cannot. What we need to know is now, this is a drug dealer, a reputed drug dealer. Who you have bank account with? Who does he have a bank account with? There should be no way at this point to pay that drug dealer. Because every bank, if they didn't before, should now say, oh, we can't continue a relationship with this person or these companies connected to him. And so the government, as we look at these documents to see who's getting paid what, and that's why you're not getting the Freedom of Information Act, the government shouldn't be able to pay him anymore because there shouldn't be a bank account to pay to. Man, we got to get our country right, man. We got to fix this. What is this nonsense that's happening right before our eyes? Let me open the phone lines. This is unacceptable, man. And you're gonna say just because you're a PLP man, leave it alone, man. Leave. That's our man. Leave him. Let's go to phone lines. 803-5995 is the number. You can call regular call or WhatsApp call 803-5995. The line is open. What y'all think about this? Y'all have any more information? What you want to add to this? Oh, some of you were already calling. Just seeing your call. Sorry, we had to put it on silent until such time as we did this. All right. 803-5995 is the number. Call us. Be a part of this. Let's figure out what's going on here, man. Because this thing ain't making no sense. This ain't adding up. Not one bit. All right. Okay. Okay. It's not ringing, but it's ringing. Call you live. Go ahead. Good afternoon. You say it again. We couldn't hear you.
That's why we need campaign finance reform.
Yes.
Because we'd be surprised if he even donated to the PLP and at what year or how long he was donating to the party.
Yeah. Well, as you can see, his plane was traveling to different islands, and he had money that he was moving around. They say it was $250,000 on the plane left, I guess, on the plane, in the cargo area, and he had $30,000 strapped around him with a name that they're alleging is Kingsley's name on it. And so obviously he was financing them. That's proof that he was financing the PLP. So now you have a drug dealer financing the PLP and getting monies from the PLP, money laundering set up by corporate structure set up by the PLP. This 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 can't be real, man. It's like we this make believe.
I just disappointed in and see, my thing is right, and I guess us and maybe you too, us who don't really dabble in corruption or proceeds of crime, who don't hang out with bad company, who don't involve themselves with bad company. We can talk. We sit back and we realize like a lot of these people quiet, Mr. Bain, is because they take money from bad people before. This country been corrupted so long. These people been giving them money, taking money from these man and thing, from Sebastian, taking money from Aiden Fox, them taking money from Gardner, taking money from these politicians who been getting money from these man them. So a lot of these people who you see can't stand and talk, even though they in their little box, they know what's going on wrong. They say there's a Christian nation, but they just was guilty for taking these people money, my brother.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
see?
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
watch this country, man. These man them done run through this country. These people ain't got no morals in this country. They Christians on a Sunday. I have an auntie. She's a Christian. She says she's a Christian. But she'll rally for the PLP and all this scandal will coming out. You want to say, now you at a church really saying anything?
Well, look, no, not about this. I'm looking to hear what the Christian Council had to say about this one. I heard them talk
Because
about Sabah's situation, which is
it's
also
so unfortunate.
concerning, but they should be speaking to this, the reputation of our country.
Because our sovereignty is hostage, right? Because those man gone in parliament. Think about a bank robbery. The police outside and the criminals inside the bank got everybody hostage. That's what these man them do. They
Yeah.
rush themselves in parliament, whatever they did to get the people not to vote, or whatever they did to get the government workers to vote for them and the PLP supporters to vote for them getting power. And that's why I tell the women people can vote. A lot of people resident vote, but they're the ones who take money. They buy themselves vote. They sell
Well,
themselves vote.
some people did, some people did, but
pieces of
I
coins.
think they stole the election.
No, that's how I'm trying to tell you. Whether
Yeah.
you didn't vote or not, to not vote, knowing that you saying that your vote is a change, and you did not vote, and you registered. You got to bio, you got to sell out, man. You just sell out.
Yeah. Thank you for your call, man. All right. 803-5995 is the number. 803-5995 is the number. How do you feel about this? Y'all ready to hit the streets? Y'all ready to hit the streets? What say you? What are we gonna do? Listen, I am willing to work with the FNM, the Constitution Party, every single Bahamian on this. We got to do something to save our one Bahamas. Call you live. Go ahead.
Good day, Mr. President. How are you?
I'm alive.
That is excellent. God is the greatest, eh?
Yes.
President, listen, yeah. We have a country full of a lot of corrupt and ignorant people. You hear me? Only the Bahamians who have principles, who have morals, and who know what's going on in this country will stand up with you and listen to you. You hear me, my friend?
Yeah.
This country is corrupt and they don't want to change because everybody's getting a handout. Let me tell you what's going to happen, Mr. Bain. America already knows what's going on in this country. They even investigating more. They know they cannot touch the politicians. If Mr. Herschel Walker is listening to this now, any officials are listening to this right
They
now.
are listening.
Just you guys have to step up. And I'm so sorry for saying that, but the innocent have to suffer for the guilty to get this place in order. You guys have to step up and put pressure on the Bahamians. Take the visas. Do what y'all have to do. Put pressure on the Bahamians. Then that's when the Bahamians can rise up and get them out of there. Because once we still in the state that we in now and we relax and the politicians still doing what they doing, ain't nothing gonna change in this country.
Yeah, that's powerful.
America have to hold us hostage, put pressure on us. You understand me? In order for us to rise up here, Mr. Man.
All right, my brother. Gotta take some other calls.
Okay, go ahead, my brother.
All right. Call you live. Go ahead. Go.
Mr. President, how you doing?
I'm good.
Nice to hear your voice. Yeah, you just be encouraged. But what I want to say, we need to hit in the square, man. We can sleep out there for 3, 4 nights.
We need to.
3, 4 nights all day.
We need to.
Until.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's what we need to do. Every Bahamian should build their house, even on their children, and sit in that square until they come out that house and give up and never move. Just go get your food, go do what you got to do, and back. And everybody's still right there. Nobody move.
Yeah. Thank you.
So I think that's what we need to do.
Yeah, I think that's what we need to do.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Last day, night, have a night, good night rest.
Good night. God bless you.
Night. Love you.
Love you too, but I need that rest.
All right. Thank you, sir.
All right. No, I spent a couple of days ago. I spent the whole entire day in the accident and emergency with a severe back injury that's not healed yet. So I'm fighting through this live. So if you see me keep moving and twitching and getting up, I'm recovering from an injury. All right. So just bear with me. I'm not being unprofessional, moving all over the place. I'm really struggling to finish this live. All right. But I had to do this. I had to do this because it's that serious. Because I'm hearing what the international community is saying, and it's like Bahamians have their head under the sand and they're pretending it's not going on, and we need more urgency from us. Did you all hear that drug dealers are getting government contracts? Did you all hear that they are money laundering using our government taxpayer money? Did you all hear that the Minister of Finance says that he set up the corporate structure for the drug dealer? Jesus. Call you live. Go ahead. Go ahead, caller. Yes.
How you doing?
I'm alive.
How you doing? Okay. My thing is that whether the Ministry of Finance knew whether Eric Gardner was a felony or convicted uh, individual when he was deported back to the Bahamas. The Foreign Affairs, Immigration, and the Attorney General for the Bahamas should have those records.
Yes.
Am I correct?
I have records of deportees. I could pull it up on the screen right now. I have records of deportees.
Right.
And so I'm sure they have the records.
So correct. So there's no excuse for them to do a due diligence on the matter whether this Mr. Gardner was who he is, a felon. A
Nanny Knowles'
convicted
case was
felony
a
and a
very
felony
famous
conviction.
case, and Eric Gardner was named in that. That's no secret.
Right,
And if I could pull up those documents, well, they say they could Google them. I want to see someone Google them. I pulled up those documents.
right,
I showed it in the previous live. So if I
right,
could pull them up, I'm sure someone with the resources of someone like Halkitis and the government of this
right.
country has the same access to do the same thing.
Okay then. So yeah, I would just wanted to elaborate on that part of the situation, just based on the fact that it's no excuse. There's just that would be an understatement that the Ministry of Finance saying that he had no knowledge. Those things supposed to be able to be right in the public record for the government to be able to have an alert of this individual's status.
They know exactly who he is.
So
That's they know who he is. They were
right,
just trying to work with him, and that's the same way. Listen, we had a time when they were doing business with Pablo Escobar and Joe Lida and these people and pretending not to know what's going on. It happens, man.
right,
You
right.
know, just as a
Right.
people, we just can't keep accepting it. We got to do something.
Correct.
All right.
And not just on the last note before I leave, right? I don't know you. I just recently came back in the country, right? I'm a person of documents, black and white. Assumptions don't work with me. So I voted for the COI this time. This is the first time I ever voted in my life.
Wow.
And
Thank you.
based on what I let me explain why. I don't know you. I don't know Mr. Davis. I don't know none of these politicians. I've been in the states most of my life, and I've dealt with contract law, civil and criminal law, and a lot of litigation that I've done as a pro se litigant is based on facts and evidence. And my thing is to the Bahamian people, they got to see through thing and see that you're a man of transparency based on record. That's the only reason why I vote for you. I don't know you, but because I know that the Bahamian people can watch everything that is going on in Parliament because of your way of transparency with our records. We can watch our money. We can watch the fraud. We can watch everything. We're going to put their feet to the fire. So I know that this movement is just the start of an enlightenment to the Bahamian people. Until we realize that facts over supersede assumption, then we can say, okay, this is what we can navigate to better ourselves as a country. The situation is that we got to be able to, you got to continue to put the evidence. You don't never come up on this on live talking on assumption. You don't do that.
No, I
And if
don't.
you do hear something, and if you do hear an assumption, you're going to say, I heard this from a
Of
third party,
course.
or I heard it, but I haven't got the facts yet. Until we realize that facts and contract, the U.S. do not work off of assumption. They build facts first, and they come get you.
And they will take as
Once
long
they
as
got
they
the
need to.
facts, that's all it takes. So I
All
just want
right.
to let you know, be encouraged. It's
Thank you,
just the
my brother.
start of a new move. All right,
Thank you,
bless.
my brother. Okay. Got some other calls. Call the whole line for 1 second. I just want to show on the screen what you're seeing now is the case. And they say you could Google all these documents. Tell any of those trolls who was on there, tell them Google this document. Let's see something. Tell them let's Google this document. Let's see them do that. But in any event, um, this was the case with Eric Gardner, Corey Roll, Carlo Kelly, Jeffrey Charlton, Samuel 90 Knowles, also known as 90. All right. And if you look at the sentencing, you will see where the witness, who was Eric Gardner, how they caught 90. All right. That's how they got 90. All right. Caller, you live.
Hello, hey, Lincoln.
Hi.
Hey, this Ronald. Listen, man, you keep up the good work, man. We love you and we love what you're doing.
Thank you, man.
And we praying for you, okay?
Thank you, my brother.
We praying for you, and don't give up the fight. You keep
Thank
doing
you.
what you're doing, man. We love you. We screaming for you. We love you.
Love you too, man.
All
All right,
right,
my
okay,
brother.
okay.
All right. 8035995 is the number. And so what I just showed you was documentation. If you're able to read through the documentation I just showed to you, you would be able to see um, the details. You would see, I showed you on the last live, the DEA write up on Eric Gardner, and their biggest concern was money laundering. How is it that I could pull up this thing with the DEA and our government couldn't do that? All right. That one might have been something that you could pull up on Google. I'm not sure, but
Hello?
I was able coming right now. Caller, just hold the line. I was able to pull that up. What the DAA concern was with Eric Garden, it was the money laundering and the buying out of the society, and yet they just went along with it, and our government is now involved. Halkitis got to go, man. Pintard, y'all stand up, man. Y'all stand up. Let's do this. I will stand side by side with you, with all the FNMs, with all the COIs, with all the Bahamians, with all the PLPs. Halkitis got to go. Kingsley Smith got to go. You cannot be in our House of Assembly meeting with drug dealers. You cannot. A DEA informant is not DEA. That's a drug dealer. All right? In our House of Assembly. And a drug dealer brought him to you. The Rivy Rule person was arrested when they were smuggling persons and drugs on the boat into Florida. They got caught. Everyone jumped off the boat. Someone died during that. They locked up everybody. They caught them. They caught the drugs. And now, how they're supposed to do it, I'll get to you right now, Carl. I just got to let the people know what's going on. How they normally do it with those situations is that no one talks. Everyone stays quiet. Everyone stays quiet and don't tell them who the captain of the boat is. You look like everyone else. You don't tell them who the captain of the boat is. Everyone shut up, and then uh, everyone go home, and it's treated as an immigration problem. All right. Now, what Rivi did was he decided I ain't shutting up because the drug was on the boat, not just people. I ain't shutting up. I could talk on my other two people, and he's talked on them and gave evidence against them. So they got 220 months in jail, 18 years, and he got 5 years. And so one of them just came out last year from 2010. One of them just came out last year, and Ravi been out because he decided to talk on them. So he's a known drug dealer. So a known drug dealer from the Bahamas brought a U.S. drug dealer to the House of Assembly to meet with Kingsley Smith. This drug dealer admitted to me, the Bahamian one, that that's what he did. Now, you could sue me so we could get all the documents and dig up everything. We welcome that. Or you could explain yourself. And so, what was so shocking about what Eyewitness News did was they didn't contact me. I have my whole call log here. They say they can reach me up to news time. It was garbage. They know how to reach me when they want to reach me. But they didn't talk about the actual story that I put out. They just talked about Fred Mitchell's response. You see? In a midnight ranting WhatsApp. That shows you that they're being used as a tool. Let me take this call, but I just want you to know that a drug dealer who is a PLP executive in Bimini brought another international drug dealer to the House of Assembly, y'all, to the House of Assembly, and we ain't hit the streets yet. In the 80s, the PLP never brought Joe Leader them to the House of Assembly. To the House of Assembly? Jesus Christ. Caller, go ahead. You live.
Hey, good night, Lincoln. How you doing?
Good night, my brother.
Lincoln, man, you keep amazing me, man. I glad to hear you saying tonight that you're extending on to the F&M to join because this thing is to join forces with them and along with the people of the Bahamas to take a stand, and because this is really bigger than politics. It's bigger than party. And Lincoln, I only want to say one thing. I just shocked. I knew a lot of people, they treat politics like a basketball, like their basketball game or
Yeah.
their favorite whatever. It's a joke to them. At this point, it's like a game. They don't normalize these politicians' behavior. It's like the excuses what people making today for these politicians. It's sickening. It makes my belly twist and hurt, man. I was speaking to her elder. She's from inside. She's from your community in in Pinewood.
Hmm.
And I called her before the election. I said, "Why, mom? Well, you gotta make sure you vote for COI." She said, "No, why?" And I break down a lot of stuff to her, and she said, "Oh, sound good." And I say, "Look, I can share some old lives with Lincoln in the area, and you could see why you really need to take a turn from the PLP party." So, but anyway, fast forward to after the election, just a few days ago, she called me and she's like, "Hey, boy, I gonna call you on election day, boy, cause I know you ain't like that one." I said, "But why you sound happy?" I say, "You sound like you going back with your old party." "Oh yeah, I switch it." The decision was easy. It's the decision between the three least evil. I was like, "So wait, so the PLP is the least evil of the three parties?" So the mindset of people, Lincoln, and it trickled down from our eldest man, come down to the young ones. Like they just die hard. All this information was spreading, and people still saying they die hard PLP, and they still making excuses for these parties. It's sickening, man. But the ones who ready to stand, I encourage you all to stand with Lincoln. It's the F and M because this is bigger than PL. I mean, party right now. So everybody just need to join forces, head to the square, and demand for the prime minister to do something.
Thank you, man. All
Yeah,
right.
all right, Lincoln. Yeah.
8035995. 8035995. Call you live. Go ahead. Go ahead, call you live.
Good night.
Yes, caller, go ahead. You're live.
Hi, good night, Lincoln. First of all, I want to commend you on your public statements and the fact that you are willing to stand with the FNM. Like the previous caller said, this is bigger than politics. And if you could just get the message out there that we Bahamians must stand together in unity, on one accord to stand against this corruption, this corrupt government, I think we will get further ahead. So keep doing what you're doing and put fire to the feet of this governing party and get these corrupt people out of the house, man. They need to go. It's internationally, it's bringing us a whole heap of shame. You know what I mean? And I think we need to get beyond what's happening locally here in this Bahama land and think about the repercussions internationally and how it will affect us. I'm talking about devaluation of currency, pre-clearance, everything of the sort for those that know. It's just education. It's just educating the populace to know that, hey, listen, get beyond the eating and the drinking and the PLP and the F&M and think about how this affects us globally as a nation. Thank you for your time and entertaining me. Have a
Thank
good
you.
night.
God bless. 8035995. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm just waiting to hear back from the FNM because I want this. I can call for. I can hold a line caller. I can call for people to come out and protest anytime. We know our people are going to come out. But this needs to be a bipartisan thing. This needs to be a Bahamian thing. And that's why I crossed the aisle and I reached out to Dwayne Sands, who's just coming back from England. And I told him that this is not about party. This is not, I'm willing to let bygones be bygones, put everything aside, throw everything in the sea of forgetfulness, and we have to stand up because our country is in trouble. Um, and he felt the same way. So I'm just waiting on the date and time that we're going out there, whether it's going to be Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday. I prefer Monday because we got to deal with this right away. We can't have someone admit to doing what he admitted and have him continue in the House of Assembly. That cannot happen. We cannot have a man that we know did a met with drug dealers in our house. I can't say he did a drug deal, but met with drug dealers in our House of Assembly and be allowed to stay there. That's two. That's two. Because if you help a drug dealer money launder, you are that's a conspiracy. All right. If you helped him by helping him get up the business he needs to buy more drugs later through government contract, etc., you helped you. That's conspiracy. You're part of conspiracy. This can't happen in our country, man. So just whatever happened to Maduro, it's happening in the Bahamas, and we gotta fix this to save our little country. Call you live. Go ahead.
Good night, Mr. Lincoln Bear. This is a young man calling.
Good night.
I have been watching you for years, and I just want to say appreciate you for knowledging me because I also watch you live, and I will continue to be knowledged by you, and I appreciate what you're doing.
Thank you, my brother.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. All right, my brother. All right. Call you live. Go ahead. Oh, we lost them. Next one. Caller, you live. Go ahead. Go ahead, caller. Don't listen to your TV. Listen to the phone. Go ahead. Don't listen to the TV. Listen to the phone.
Okay, Mr. Lincoln, I want to say thank you so much for all the information that you are giving to the Bahamian people, and I am so proud of you. And I'm also voted COI for the first time.
Thank you.
And let me tell you something. What you're doing is awesome, and you're calling for all Bahamian people. We have to save our country because if we don't, Bahamian people love to go to the United States to shop. And if they don't wake up and stand, they can soon can go to the United States. If we can't do nothing, we be ready. Why is these politicians getting fat, living their nice life? Yep. Everybody go in the House of Assembly. When you see them doing their when they have to do their declaring to say what all how much they've worked and all that, they go in there broke. Everybody now in business, they billionaires. Why is we out here suffering? The Bahamian people you look on the road, we got people out here downtown who have nowhere to sleep. Why is these people living their best life? And we have to stand together and get these people out of our house and let them know we mean business. We mean our country well. We can't continue like this, and we're so glad that we got somebody who like coming out and speaking up and not getting paid. They want to buy you and you're not taking their money. So you're speaking for the Bahamian people. And I am extremely proud to be a Bahamian because I was getting ready to pack up and leave this country.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to live under this administrators no more because it is a disgrace. And you got my children, you got children here, they rising up and watching. Like, if we can have drug dealers and the place where they making the laws are the place they breaking the laws. If they catch a young man out here with a joint, they want to lock them up. They want to throw the books behind them, and then they're making big time $1 million. They got to go. And Bahamian people, y'all need to stop worrying but party and stop worrying but the PLP. They are funding this bunch of foolishness and get up and fight for your country before we don't have no country to fight for. And that's my 5 cents.
Thank you, man. Thank you. Appreciate that.
Let's go.
All right, let's do it.
Let's do it.
803-5995, 803-5995. It's a number. 803-5995. So, ladies and gentlemen, as I said, I've reached across the aisle. I'm also going to reach out to Michael Pintard. But I've reached out to the chairman of the organization. We got to do this. If they are serious, we can't just Hold the line one sec, caller. Hold the line.
Very short.
We can't hold the line one sec, caller. We cannot.
I'm calling on the Freeport now on cell phone.
We cannot just ask questions. We got to do something. We got to do something. We got to get those crooked people out of the house. We didn't do it with Keith Bell, and now he's still there. We got to do something. Go ahead, caller. You're live.
Lincoln,
Yes,
how you doing?
I'm alive.
I can see you having pain. You're working
Yeah.
hard. You're doing a good job. And I want you to keep it up. And anytime when you're ready to make that call for that protest downtown, let us know.
We doing that.
Okay,
We doing it next week.
Doing next week. Let us know. We want all the agencies to get together and do this. We got to do this.
Yes.
One more thing before I go. I'll make it very short. Do you know who is politician number one? Let us know later.
I said politician number one, based on the information I have, is Kingsley Smith. All right. So I want to allege that is Kingsley Smith to me.
News now, so it ain't no big deal.
Say again?
I said it's almost like public news information now. I mean, so if that's who it is, that's who it is. We need to get rid of them, Lincoln. You got to do it.
All right. Thank you, man.
You got to do it. Have a good one.
All right.
Okay. Hope you feel better.
All right. Thank you. Now, there's two different persons that is referenced as a politician. There was a initial indictment that was with Curtis and Roca and them, and in that indictment, it talks about a high-ranking politician. All right, in that indictment, that's a different scenario. That's a different situation. Hold the line one sec, caller. Just hold the line. In that's a different politician. All right. I have allegations of who that is, but I don't have enough evidence to say who that one is. I know who it is. I was told who it is, but with this one, I had the person who was named in there come to me and tell me who the person was, and so this is different. That's why I could say that this person said that they took Kingsley to the House of Assembly, and what transpired. All right, so this is a different politician. Politician number one is different than that first one name in the Curtis thing. So don't confuse the two. There's two of them now. All right, that $2 million one, that's a different one. So the question is, we want to know if if Halkitis was a high-ranking person, based on the information I have. I don't know him to be the high-ranking one that got the $2 million that was named in that first one. All right, I don't know him to be. All right, now the information I have might not be correct. But I don't know him to be, but the information I have with the allegations against Kingsley, that's a different story, and that's I have evidence, testimony from the person who took him to the House of Assembly. Call you live. Go ahead.
Good night, Lincoln. How you doing?
I'm alive.
Good. Yeah, man, you're doing a good job. But Lincoln, you forgetting another two, man. Sabas and Leslie, they need to go too, because they are there in our parliament doing a bunch of crap. I'm trying to clean up their dirt. They need to get out there too.
Well, come out and come out when we go out next week. Come out. We're gonna call on the Christian Council to come out and we gotta fix what's going on, man.
Who are you talking to, eh?
Yes.
Yeah, definitely. I'll be there. That's my country, Lincoln.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, man. And let me say this to the young generation. Look here, all y'all young people who listening into this talk show. Look here. My heart goes out to y'all, because if y'all don't fix this situation, it's y'all who gonna stay behind here when us as the older ones die out, and Lincoln also. Y'all gonna be in trouble because y'all can't fight this demonic evil trend that is going on in our country. Y'all better wake up, mind. Listen to the old people, elderly people, mind.
Yeah.
We talking common sense.
Yeah.
Lincoln, thanks for taking my call, boy. Yeah,
Thank you, man.
Let's do this.
All right. I want to congratulate all of the persons who ran for the COI in the last election. You did extremely well, even though the election was stolen. We got cumulatively 17,095 votes. And I want to say congratulations to all of you for that. We got 17,095 and 95 votes cumulatively. We're waiting for it to be gazetted with the final numbers. That is the most votes of any third party in the history of this country. We received more votes. Hold the line, caller. We'll be right with you. We received more votes than the FNM received when they were a third party. The FNM was once a third party. Yes, the BDP was the opposition at the time, led by Henry Boswick, and the FNM was the third party. We got more votes than the FNM got at that time. We got more votes than the CDR, led by a prominent minister, Mr. Nottage, Bernard Nottage. We got more votes than the DNA at their highest. I'm not saying that to brag. I'm saying that there's now a shift. And even though we had less people voted totally than voted in 2012 when the DNA was there, we still got more total votes and a bigger percentage of the voting pool. I'm saying that to say that the shift is on, and they can only cheat for so long. And we more than doubled our votes between the first election when we were just independents. This is our first election as a party, and we more than doubled our votes. And I believe that we tripled our support after election day. And I believe that that will take us to where we need to be to take the election next time. If you multiply over 17,000 um, times three, that's what I believe happened. I believe that a lot of persons woke up and realized that it's possible and it's doable and we can do something different. And we dominated in the southern district of New Providence. Most of our votes came in the southern district of New Providence. All of our people in the southern district of New Providence got more than 600 votes, roughly. Um, and so whoever wins the southern district wins the country. And that's our stronghold. And we're going to take that. So all the people in the south of New Providence, I want to thank you. We did the weakest on the Family Islands, and so we have to strengthen that. And so we have to go get them. But um, I want to thank you for your support. Let's go to the phone lines. Call you live. Go ahead.
Thank you for taking my call, Lincoln.
Yes.
There should be no question about whether the government is corrupt. Kingsley Smith could have met with that person, a drug dealer, anywhere in the country. But because he chose to meet him in the House of Assembly, what he was doing was indicating that he had the support of the government. By meeting there, he's letting the drug
Yes.
dealer know and the public and the international community know that the support of the government is behind him. That's the symbolism that he made in choosing that place, the House of Assembly, to meet. So there should be no question. The international community doesn't need to. That's all the evidence that they need.
Yes.
And with respect to Mr. Gardner, all of his company's bank accounts and his assets should be seized and should be now the property of the state. But they're not doing that. They're acting as though their heads are in the sand and they don't know what to do. But that's standard operating procedure.
We're going to have to take action. We're going to have to find out what banks have accounts with top notch or complete construction or PPP or Paradise. And we have to also protest those banks because if it's you or me, they would refuse you. So how could they be allowed to allow this person that's doing this big international money laundering scheme that the international community is worried about this scheme? And how could they be allowed to continue? And so we have to identify these and make sure that our taxpayer dollars can't go into them banks because the accounts need to be closed. Not a dollar should be paid, and those buildings should be seized and turned over to the people of the Bahamas.
Absolutely. And I want to thank you for having this live because the Bahamian people are calling in and they're expressing their objection to the corruption. And they're saying by their calls and their complaints and their frustrations that they're not with this government. And just like around the world. They had opposition in Iran and in Venezuela. It's the same thing. The people of the Bahamas are crying out for change, and they're saying that they want a good government. They want to be rid of corruption and cronyism and victimization. Let's not forget that the government of Bahamas ammo is victimization. That's why the people are afraid to vote against them and to come out and protest. So
that's my life.
We are under siege. We are under siege. The people of the Bahamas are under siege by by this very corrupt and evil government, and that's what we want the international community to know, that we want them removed, and we are demonstrating and we're speaking out and we're crying out. We're saying we need help. We need the same actions that were taken in these other countries, because the people are ready for a change, and the people want to get rid of a tyrannical group of despots that are running the country. We want them gone, and we want to be freer from their victimization and from their corruption.
Yes, thanks for your call, man.
Thank you very
All
much.
right. 8035995, 8035995. I showed you before a CIA document that showed where they wanted to indict Bahamian politicians before, but they were concerned. Hold a line call. I'll be right with you. They were concerned that the people were not going to rise up, that the media was too weak, and that the opposition party was too weak, and that they were also involved with drugs, so they weren't going to say or do anything. And that was their biggest concern, why they let it just go on, because they didn't want to get in a fight and tangle with their next door neighbor and it looked bad internationally. Um, and that's kind of what's happening right now. They want to see the Bahamian people stand up. Y'all got to stand up, man, and y'all gonna see something if y'all stand up. But if they believe that y'all are weak, that the opposition is weak, then they're not gonna stand up. All right, we got to do something. All right, I think the name tag thing was cute. All right, that was cute, but come on, man, we need serious action, man. We we got to do something. All right, we don't want the government to fail, because if they fail, we fail. But if something is seriously wrong in our country, bringing us international embarrassment, we can't put party over country, man. Come on, let's go to the phone line. Call it, you're live. Go ahead.
Good night, again. Good night, Bahamas.
Hey, good night.
You got a young caller calling in, Mr. Ben. I've been listening for years.
Thank you, man.
Some other young people.
Thank you.
Straight down to Keith Bell. I know that one is old news, but he should be fired. In other countries, that's treason. People should be stoned to death for what he did.
Yes.
Selling those passports. He need to get out of there. Michael Halkitis, he need to step down or be fired. Like some action need to be taken. You know what I mean? The prime minister need to put all of that beside him. This party talks and lock some of these people up. You know, Sabas, no, he wasn't supposed to run in that election. You call him out on this BS. He still went ahead and registered. Like, you know, we just being walked over and held blind eye, and they just getting richer, like all the other callers say. These politicians legit get in power, and they see all the access, and they see all of the zeros on those bank accounts that they have access to. They ain't got no choice but to thief. They be thieving. And I appreciate you for explaining. Keep it up. I can't promise you I can make that day in Ruston Square, but you got my support any other way I can, and let's do this, promise.
Thank you, my brother. Appreciate it.
Yes, sir.
All right. Call you live. Go ahead.
Hello?
Yes, you're live. Go ahead.
Yes, Lincoln, good night. I just wanted to just say to the Bahamian people, I don't know if that we are in having this wicked regime ruling over our nation, you know. Let me tell you something. I have seen, I'm not even going to focus on all of the things that I've noticed, right? You know, with even the international community talking about how bribes are prevalent during the election. By the way, for those of you who are believers who receive bribes or receive money just to go and vote, you realize that brings a curse on your household?
Yes.
It's in the Bible.
Yes,
but
it is in the Bible.
Event, I'm only going to focus on something that happened with me and my business. my business partner and I, we are highly skilled individuals. She's an accountant, and I'm very highly skilled in administration and a number of other things. And we put in a bid. I don't know if people realize those that ridiculous bidding site that they have out there. That's just for them to put these bids out to look good to the public.
Yeah.
But the PLP has been doing this to the Bahamas for many years. They've been rigging this country, pretending as though they're doing something for the good of the people, but they only make contracts and stuff available to their most loyal supporters. And even back in the day when I needed to go off to college, they would not even allow me to have a scholarship. They only used to give it to their people. And it was not until the F&M won the government, Hubert Ingram allowed us to go off to school. Yes, he had his faults, but he didn't say if you're a PLP or F&M, you will go. We were able to go. And
Yes.
that is how a government is supposed to conduct themselves. But I put in a bid last year, and we worked so hard on that bid. And even the people who accepted the bid, they acknowledged that our bid was very highly put together, and it was the lowest bid. And would you believe? Based on what I'm told, it was given to one of Sebastian's companies. And
Wow.
this is how they operate in our country. Even the grants they took away from the company that offered the grants, and they only give it to their people.
Wow.
Bahamians need to understand this is not a joke. They accept $200 here and there, and then for 5 years we got to struggle and suffer.
Yeah.
We need to wake up.
Yeah. Thank you, caller.
Yes.
All right. 803-5995 is the number. There are some people who was questioning the numbers. All right. Hold the line one sec, caller. I'll get right to you. There's some people who was questioning the numbers, the kind of numbers is watchers. I want you to see how more powerful social media is than the regular media. The newspapers print about 8,000 papers a day, right? On a Monday or Thursday, if it's a big story, they could print up 15,000. And a lot of them don't sell. That's what they print. And you go in the gas station, you see them papers right there. And so their reach only goes so far. I'm going to actually show you this so you could understand the power that you have, the power that your eyes have, your ears, and the power that you have as a people that you can't let the media and with the tricks that they're doing, especially like Eyewitness News and these other people. This is the back office for my Facebook page, not Coalition, Bayman Evolution, not the YouTube, etc. This is just my Facebook page. So this is the post I put up here today. This is the views that I got where I said press statement about whatever. That's the press statement I put out. That's almost 60,000 people saw that. They don't print that much newspapers. They can't. Politician One revealed that was the live broadcast. Just on my page alone, 212,000 people watched that. Just on my page alone. That's not the Bahamian Evolution page, the Coalition of Independence Facebook page. That's not LinkedIn. That's not any of the YouTube pages. That's tens of thousands of more people that watched. All right. This the post before that. It's almost 250,000 people watch that, and so this is a constant on these pages. So people are watching and paying attention to what's going on. This one here got 259,000. Again, that's just on my page, and so on a weekly basis, we could get uh, millions and millions of views just on my page, right? And if I pull up the other ones, you'll see similar numbers, not as high as this because most people watch it on my page. But I just wanted you to see that we're not fluffing when we tell you these numbers. All right, this the people are watching. Bahamians are watching. This is the back off. This is a live back office right now. You can click on these and you'll see that this is the live back office. All right. So and when you see those numbers like 1.5K or whatever, that's just a preliminary thing that they put up there. Those aren't the real numbers. That's up there. Whew. All right. Let me go to the caller. Call you live. Go ahead.
Hello, Lincoln Band.
Yes. Go ahead.
Yeah, Mr. President, excellent live tonight.
Thank you.
Really, I wanted to call in the last live, but I stood down. But I had to call it a night. One of the things will be interesting to see tomorrow, as you say, they are all listening to media. It'll be interesting to see which sound bites or which excerpts they would play tomorrow in the news, ZNS, Eyewitness News, also the Tribune and the Guardian. It'll really be interesting to see. And about next week, when we all come out in the square, it'll be good, because the Bahamas is not only Nassau. I'm in Nassau, but if there's a place they could meet in Grand Bahama, there's a number of constituencies there, and every island like Cat Island, like Exuma, like Abaco, those places, Elutra, yeah, all those places that they could meet somewhere to show that we also, as Bahamians across this nation, have the support. So continue to do the good work you're doing, man.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it. All right. God bless.
Thank you.
All right. All right. So definitely, we got to get out there. We want to come out in Bahamian colors, not in party colors. And so again, I'm going to reach across the aisles, and we got to do something. We got to stand together. I will stand in that square and hold hands with Michael Pintard and with all of the other party leaders, because this has to be done. We can't let our country go to the dogs. We cannot. Call you live. Go ahead. Hold on one sec, caller. The reason I showed you the Bahamian public that um, those numbers just for my page, it's not all the numbers we get. Um, like this week, we have 5.4 million, almost 5.5 is 0.91. Um, the reason I show you that number is because the media thinks by ignoring us or by twisting stories that they're getting somewhere, and they don't understand why people aren't really paying attention. And they're just doing what they're told. They're told to just bring Fred out there and let him attack Lincoln. Just let him attack Lincoln. Let's do a nice immature story and let him attack Lincoln. Let's put something in the newspaper. Let's talk about the court. Let's do some crazy stuff. And they don't realize that more people are watching us than watching them. I can tell you that 250,000 people or 200 plus people or 300,000 people don't watch none of their news broadcasts. That amount of people don't watch Beyond Headlines. I can assure you of that. Um, I can show you the difference. If you go to their page, you could actually see their real numbers. And so I didn't show you that to brag. I want you to see that the media doesn't have the power they used to have when we had no choice but to watch them. The world has changed. You hear me? The world has changed. There's a different dispensation now, and we have the power of the people. We have it in our hands. And so continue to watch as much as you can. Continue to pay attention to what is going on, because what they fear is your eyes and your attention. That's what they fear. They fear that. They fear when they see the numbers. They fear that they don't have the control over what you think anymore. Let's go to phone lines. Call you live. Go ahead.
Hi, Lincoln. How are you?
I'm alive.
Great. Question. When it came to 90, they came in, the U.S. came into this country and they took him out in the night, just took him out. I know you said that you cannot take out, they can't do that to politicians.
Well, politicians, yeah, but not the head of state.
I mean,
And if you have diplomatic immunity,
no,
yeah.
wait, listen to what I'm saying. Why were they allowed to be able to do that?
To 90?
Just to not just to, I mean, to 90. I know they had a scare. They were saying back in the day with Kendall Norwich, they were going to try to do that too. But why can't they do that now? I mean, with all that they're dealing with, that all the information that they have, everything. Why can't they do that now? Say if they wanted, what I'm saying is if they wanted, say, Smith, come in, take him out and go.
Yeah. Yeah. So they can do that with Kingsley Smith, but it's going to be difficult because some of them have diplomatic immunity because of their cabinet position, and we believe that that's why the cabinet was made so big this time, to give everybody kind of diplomatic immunity. What they're supposed to do is they're supposed to actual extradition procedures, and they believe that the government just won't agree to the extradition, and so that's why they won't necessarily want to waste their time with that, and that's one of the problems that they consider with 90. He was removed by our politicians at the time illegally because even the court said that it was illegal. It shouldn't have been done. And if it happens again, they're going to put sanctions on whoever does it. But of course, it's not going to happen again. They was trying to get rid of 90 because everyone owes 90 money. Every politician, all of them who got money from him, they was trying to get rid of him. And so the politicians use persons and then get rid of them. And that happened to a lot of young men up the streets who were doing murders and stuff for them. They use them and then get rid of them. And that's what happened with 90. They got rid of him.
Oh, so that is the reason why they won't let 90 come home then.
Right. 90 already qualifies to come home. Any Bahamian can come home to finish off their time and they'll end up. 90 would qualify to be released immediately if he was brought back home because the time in the States is different than the time here. So in the federal system, you get, I think it's 53 days for every year you get off. All right, 53 days because they don't have a parole system. In the Bahamas, you only do 2/3 of your sentence. Okay, so that's a lot more days off. So when you do the calculation, if 90 comes home, he's released right away. But with the situation, they don't want him back in the Bahamas. All right.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much.
All right. Thanks for your call.
Good night.
Good night. All right. So I let me show you all the news. All right. I just want to show you all as for comparison. This is the news tonight compared to when we go live and we actually do a live. I want you to see the actual difference. Trying to get this up. So that I want you to see the difference. Hold the line, caller. Coming to you right now. Okay, it's freezing up. Wait. Okay. I want you to see this, right? Ooh. Okay. All right. So this right here is the news tonight. What is it? It says 3 hours ago. This is Eyewitness News tonight. This is click on it so you can see the numbers, and you can see right over here. This
And slip inside your bed.
you can
The
see
next
that
thing I know, my wife is trying to kill me dead. Oh, Lord. Get to writing. Don't hit me no more, cause I just get to writing. My head is spinning, cause I get to writing. Oh, I get to writing.
Yeah, they might get another
Going to the doctor, cause I have a pain down there.
To the message that we're getting out there, and that's the real difference. So I don't want you to be intimidated by the news, feeling they could push their false agenda, push their lies, and think that is really going to be affecting the people. More people know where to get their real news from. All right, the real information, the people who are giving out the real documents, not regurgitating what politicians tell them to say, not trying to spread their evil agenda to keep these politicians in power. People are listening to us. We are relevant because people know that we bring the truth. We always speak the truth and that we love this country. We don't sell out. We're not going to take no jobs from them. We don't want no appointments from them. We don't sell out. They know that we are for real and we are fighting this for love of country. And that's why the Bahamian people are watching. So I just wanted you all to see that with your own eyes. All right. And if you go to the other news stations, it's even less than that. All right. Let's go to the phone lines. Call you live. Go ahead. Go ahead, caller.
Hello, good evening.
Good evening.
How are you, my brother?
I'm alive in a lot of pain, but I'm alive.
Well, thank God that you is alive. I'm calling on all Bahamians. I am the ambassador for the organic seed Bahamian. And I want Bahamian to understand this is not a political thing. Our country is at stake. Our children's future in the country is at stake. We ought to come together as a people, a common sense people. We ought to come together, the churches who have members, come together and let's stand together in the square and we demand that this government of what have been revealed must celebrate David according to the Westminster system, and our constitution was violated. Bahamians, we must stand together to save our country that God has given to us. We have no other choice but to take it by force, not by violence, but by communication of oneness against this evil that has taken place in our country by this corrupt government. But God allowed them to be where they are. So the people can speak again, and we will speak in a louder voice than what happened on election day. And so, my brother, let me encourage you to continue to stand strong. Unity is strength. When we stand together, the PLP, the FNL, the COI, the Christian Community Party, and all of the independent persons, if you love God, if you love this country, if you love the family, we will stand together. Whensoever the crowning call come to us, let's move in unity and with his strength, and let's take this government down. I close with this scripture, my brother, that came to my spirit. Proverbs 29:4. It states, the king, I will put there, the prime minister, by judgment establish the land, but he that receiveth gifts overthrow the land. I say to the Bahamian people, let's do it.
Thank you.
We are the government. And so I said to you, my brother, you are safe. You are safe with the people. And your rating and your support before, after election, as you have said, I'm telling you, has tripled to support you and the coalition of independent. That is the mindset of the people now. Continue to do well, my brother, and continue to open the eyes of the common sense people who will operate in the highest degree, which is the degree of common sense. God bless you, my brother.
Yes. Thank you, man. Now, ladies and gentlemen, this is the last call I can take. I muscled to this. We did over 2 hours, but this, like I said, I spent the whole day in A&E 2 days ago. I have a major injury. I gotta take care of myself. All right. So thank you so much. So I gotta, I I can't even think straight no more. Let me take this last call. Call you live. Go ahead.
What up, Lincoln?
Right here, man. How you doing?
Everything blessed, man. Lincoln, whatever you do, tie it or not, and get out, whoever you have to get out, just to lift up whatever you have to lift up. And what I mean by that is, the country need whatever it is you dealing with. The country need that. You get what I'm trying to say? Because even though the PLP win, you could still feel something wrong in this country. You get what I'm trying to say? It's
Yes.
like you could feel something over this country, or like something is about to happen. So if you and the FNM put whatever side, like you say, and you're all tired and not, and then get people out there to send, because how you could have criminals writing your laws, Lincoln? That make sense to me.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm trying to say? We looking at Sabas, and I hear you all announce about what Sabas did. I ask them people, yeah, I keep asking the question, what did he did for you all until he started running? You understand what I'm trying to say? And he grew taking you all money, what you all spend with him, and he put in. I don't get it. He's a criminal inside the House of Parliament. They can write laws that benefit them, just like how the Igler write, put things in to get washer and things like that. You think Keith Bell I watch him in the house today. He keep looking at the nutter, what do you name, Halkitis, reading off a bunch of foolishness. These people laughing at you, you know what I mean? You got to not laugh. I mean, like laughing at the Bahamas. You got a criminal lawyer, and that's what Brave Davis is. And he in charge of the country. He's seeing what's going on, but he still don't make no type of change. And even the people who vote for them, they trying to make, even though they throwing out their little jazz and whatever, but when they go back, the country still don't feel right because you could still feel something hovering over the body.
Yes.
Look at it, something hovering over the nation, bro. You could feel it like they win, but it feel like they win. You remember back in the days when they used to win, everything used to be breakdown maybe for a month. They'd be celebrating whatever the case may be. But now this win feel like okay. And I keep saying the Bahamian vote for, and rather you all accept it or not, or you all darkness be your guide, you all is crazy people. Because the Bahamians didn't vote the PLP in. Haitians did. Rather you all won't believe that or not, Bahamians did not vote the PLP in power. Haitians did. Haitian pushed them over the line. And you see, I keep saying this, right? And that's why I say, God bless the man who's standing for righteousness, right? Look at the way you talk. Look at the way you move. Look at what you're saying. Why everybody, I'm talking about some people, why everybody's scared of you and your speech? Even those and them. I mean those meaning like the F&M, them meaning the PLP. Every time when you go live, everybody got to have something to say. You know why? Because they're looking for a rebuttal. They're looking to say this and they're looking to say that. You watch Fred Mitchell. That's his name. I don't know if I'm saying that right. You hear what he's saying? They keep using, get over it. We win. We back in power. But they know what they did to get in power because the country still don't feel relaxed.
Yeah.
I don't care what nobody say. This country does not feel like.
All right. I gotta run, call. All right.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
All right. We'll be live again Sunday.
Yeah.
All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, that budget they did, I didn't comment on the budget. I'm so sorry, call. I can't take no more calls. I'm so sorry. I know it was beeping off the hook just now, but I can't take no more calls. That budget that they did was a pitiful budget. It was probably one of the worst budgets I've ever seen. There's no forward movement. The caller talked about the Aguila. Sorry, call. I can't take any more calls. Gotta put on do not disturb. But the same thing happened. They did the same thing with EVs for Sebastian. They did the same thing with electronic vehicles for him, so he can benefit. Look carefully at that budget. We don't benefit from that. People clapped when they said for first time home purchases is going to be raised up to 600,000. Yeah, that doesn't benefit you. How much people can't qualify for a loan for $200,000 house. They got to come up with $60,000. And you talking about a $600,000. You think that for you? That's not for you. That's for the people that they just gave all these contracts to. That could get a more expensive house. They could afford a $500,000, $600,000 house. That ain't for you. That don't benefit you. Nothing in there benefit. That budget was a next time for the power budget. That's what that was. And so they did what they had to do. I saw they talked about the Pinewood situation that I've been fighting for, and you're going to get stuff in Pinewood because I'm there and I'm a threat to them. But that same money has been borrowed over and over for Pinewood and has been squandered. All right? And for the FNM and PLP to own our homes and to put us in that situation, now they're getting another loan that you have to pay. So instead of our homes paying for that problem, you go pay for that yourself. That's what they just did. I ain't nothing to celebrate. That's how we always get swing. They use the poor people money to get rich off it. That's the system that we have. Everything they get rich off, the money is from the poor. And so they made $1 billion developing Pinewood. And instead of giving us a proper drainage in that area, knowing the problem, now, all these years later, they're making you pay for it. Your children will pay for that because they're getting a loan for it. Y'all better wake up in this country, you know. And I want you to notice the one thing you did not see at all in that budget. You saw nothing about your natural resources. You saw nothing about the carbon credits. But they taking it, they benefiting from it. No conversation about it. They're about to steal your carbon credits, billions of dollars of it. Mum's the word. Y'all better wake up. But with that said, ladies and gentlemen, um, we gotta hit the square. We have to hit the square. You know, they paint us as rebel rousers, and they only show us when we're protesting to make us look like we're rowdy and that we should not be in government. I have to take that risk because we have to stand up and fight for this country. Stand up for something that's going to fall for anything. We got to take the square. Halkitis can't stay in our house. He can't stay there. All right? Um, Kingsley, you allegedly turned our House of Assembly into a drug house. How could our House of Assembly be a crack house? How you let a drug dealer bring another drug dealer into the house to meet with you? What kind of nonsense is this? And so, you know what will happen tomorrow and the day after, etc. They could have all kind of talks with me. They could bring up all kind of stuff and lies and whatever. They could attack me. They could do what they have to do. But at the end of the day, this ain't about me. This is about our country. This is about how the Americans, the British, and everyone else is looking at our country. This is about our country. And so we're calling on every party, every independent, every Bahamian to come out. We're going to set the date, just waiting to hear from the F&M first. Got to reach across the aisle and put down our swords, put down our weapons, and we can lock shields together as Bahamians to get them drug dealers out of our House of Assembly. Get anyone who doesn't belong in our House of Assembly out of our House of Assembly. And so, in the name of all that's good and righteous, you'll get out of our house before we have to come and throw you out our house politically. It's time to stand up, Bahamians. There's something to stand up for. Or you and your children could suffer. The same about election. Yes, election over. But governance is not over. The government's foot must always be held to the fire. They must always be held accountable. You know, drug dealers be sitting in our house. Not on my watch. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you all for tuning in. I do this because I love you. I do this because I love my country. And I only ask you to stand with me. It's time to stand up. We have a couple more days to see if we could raise enough money to do these election cards. If we don't, then it is what it is. But we're trying our best to do what we have to do. All right. We just have literally a couple more days. But ladies and gentlemen, it's time to stand up. God bless you.